So how many of you have your cookies and your tea ready? Because here we go.
Yay.
We are really excited to kick off this tea with a very special treat. We have with us Kim Baker, who is a renowned podcaster with the fabulous podcast, As We Eat. And Kim has delightful stories she shares, food memories, family recipes, traditions, cuisines, discovering how food connects us, how it defines and inspires us. We get to have her give us her own rendition today of tea and all the nuances and how it fits together. So Kim, we are very excited to have you here in your recording studio. So please welcome Kim Baker.
Bravo.
Well, okay.
Thank you for that glorious introduction. As you heard, I'm Kim Baker of As We Eat, and I have some interesting things to tell you about the tasty tea that you're sipping and the culture and traditions that revolve around taking tea. Shall we begin?
Yes.
First, tea is the world's second most consumed drink after water and just ahead of beer. Scholars say that the tradition originated in China, spread throughout Asia, and then via trade routes to the rest of the world. Every culture around the world consumes tea, and there is archaeological evidence of tea cultivation and consumption from up to 5,000 years ago. So we're really talking about an ancient tradition going on here. Tea types can be classified first by fermentation. There's white tea, in which the leaves of Camellia sinensis, I got that wrong, but I'm going to keep going, are withered and then dried. Unfermented green tea, for which leaves are roasted, rolled, and dried. Semi-fermented oolong tea, which is dried before the fermentation process finishes. Oxidized black tea, where leaves are wilted, rolled, fermented, and then dried. And pure tea that is fully fermented and matured for at least 90 days and sometimes for years before it's drunk. It's a really strong tasting tea if you've ever had that one. We also refer to tea by the various regions and terroirs in which they're grown. China produces all 6 types of tea, with gunpowder green tea being of a special. Assam and Darjeeling teas hail from India, with Darjeeling the champagne of teas, specifically from the foothills of the Himalayas, probably something like what you're seeing in my background. Tea is also grown in Taiwan, known particularly for its floral oolong tea. Sri Lanka produces beautiful Ceylon tea that we often associate with orange pekoe. Tea is also produced in Kenya and Japan, which is where we usually find matcha, powdered green tea used in traditional tea ceremonies. My personal favorite is Earl Grey, which is black tea leaves flavored with bergamot oil. In turn, bergamot, as my mom mentioned before, is a citrus fruit native to Italy and probably a long-growing hybrid of lemon and bitter orange. Another personal favorite of mine is rose Assam tea, which is black tea grown in India, enhanced with rose oil and rose petals. Drinking rose tea to me feels like falling in love. I just get really heady and swoony, and it's an experience. Tea can be drunk at any hour of day or night, but specific traditions of afternoon tea, like we are enjoying today, and another tea ceremony known as high tea, and these are different, rose to prominence in the late 18th century. In 1861, the famous Mrs. Beeton drew this distinction between high tea and afternoon tea. She said, quote, "There is tea and tea. A high tea is where meat takes a more prominent part and signified really what is a tea dinner. The afternoon tea signifies little more than tea and bread and butter and a few elegant trifles the way of cake and fruit," end quote. In an autobiography of Dr. Alexander Carlyle, who was writing about his life at Harrogate in 1763, he gives credit to the concept of the afternoon tea tradition to Anna, the wife of the Duke of Bedford. Since the common meals at the time were served either a large luncheon kind of early in the day and then followed by a late dinner at 8 p.m., Duchess Anna began serving tea at 5 p.m. in her drawing room, accompanied with a small selection of cakes and sweets to combat what she called a sinking feeling, something I think we're all probably pretty familiar with. Given the high levels of tannin in tea, it's fairly common to serve it with lemon or cream just to temper it a little bit, but never both, as citric acid will make the cream curdle. It's considered a major faux pas to take both lemon and cream. Until recently, and by recently, I mean within past 7,500 years, sugar was really considered a luxury item, not a staple that we had in the kitchen just everywhere we went. And so there's a legend that tea could be sweetened by dipping your pinky finger to the second knuckle in your cup of tea. Now, this may correlate to the urban legend about extending your pinky finger, there we go, while sipping tea. But I think you'll be surprised to learn that it's actually not genteel manners to do so. There's not a truly definitive explanation for this, but what I've read suggests that people believe that only commoners ate with all 5 fingers, including the pinky finger that one might actually be using to pick the nose. So to prove that they were above the hoi polloi, the elite would therefore only navigate the tea tray with 3 fingers. So now that we know it's proper to tuck in the pinky, let's talk about proper teacup holding technique. For cups with larger handles, and I'm going to demonstrate here for just a sec, put your index finger through the handle with the thumb resting on the top. Your middle finger should support the handle. I hope that that's kind of visible there. And your 4th and 5th pinky fingers curl in towards your wrist. For smaller handles, you would squeeze the handle with your thumb and pointer finger while resting the handle on your 3rd finger, maybe like so, and using the rest of your fingers to press against the cup to balance it. If standing, hold the saucer and the teacup by cradling the saucer with your 4 fingers on the bottom and your thumb securing the plate. But if you're sitting, you don't need your saucer, leave it on the table. Now, of course, you could drink tea from a beaker. This one happens to be my favorite. And, you know, all bets are off at that point because you're so far beyond etiquette. There's no coming back from that. So if you've enjoyed today's brief tea talk, you may enjoy following me and my partner, Lay, at As We Eat, a multimedia podcast centered on the intersection of food, history, and culture. You can find our bi-weekly podcast anywhere on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or more. And you might like the As We Eat journal. We publish everything. You can find links to everything at asweeat.com. We have a lot of topics that we cover. Juneteenth, butter is one of my favorite episodes, so on and so forth. So at this point, it is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Margaret Moodian, our esteemed TIAS Arms Board President. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and I look forward to seeing who wins this hat competition.
Bravo. Thank you, Kim.
Hold on 1 minute. Kim, thank you so much. That was an incredible presentation. And Joanne, you should be so proud. It's amazing. And we're so fortunate to have a famous podcaster at our tea. And yes, if you do get a chance to listen to her podcast, it's a real treat and very informative for those of us who like to learn, especially about food. So thanks again, Kim. Just wanted to thank everyone for attending the virtual tea party today. I'm so grateful for our wonderful volunteers and board members for everything they have done to make this virtual tea party a special event. Because of the pandemic, we took fundraising online and we have perfected the process over the past few years. And this will be our best virtual tea party yet. Of course, we are looking forward to holding our wine tasting in person in the fall, as long as the stars align. I want to share with you some exciting projects we have been working on besides supporting our grantees, which you will be learning all about. I have been leading a virtual pen pal program with the Capistrano Unified School District in a school in South Africa with Congressmember Mike Levin, and the former ambassador to South Africa, Eric Bost. He's also on our advisory board. We have also been advocating for an African Preschoolers Day with Senator Van Hollen's office, thanks to our wonderful former president, Anita Lempel. If you would like to get involved in this advocacy, please contact me at margaret@tsarms.com, and I'll also put my email in the chat as well. We have begun brainstorming ideas for a scholarship program. Our board member Doris Gordon has been spearheading this. So thank you all for joining us today. And now I would like to introduce our fabulous founder and fundraising planner extraordinaire, Joanne Baker.
Thank you, Margaret. Welcome, everybody. It's so wonderful to see so many of you here today. And it is a gorgeous, sunny Sunday afternoon, and we all appreciate that you came anyway to sip tea and eat cookies. And I see some of you eating your cookies now. That is wonderful. Thank you for doing that. So we'll start with our usual African greeting. So please repeat after me. I know you're all muted, but we'll see your faces. Sabona.
Sabona.
Sapila.
Sapila.
Gunjani.
Gunjani.
Because we're on Zoom, as Diane mentioned earlier, we are able to have our out-of-state guests with us today, as well as Zandile Corsa and Lorraine Yoko, who are currently Zooming in from South Africa. It's 11 o'clock at night for them. So if you guys doze off, we completely understand. But it's thank you for joining us. Zandile is the principal of Never Never Land, and you'll hear a little bit more from her later. And Lorraine Yoko is the chairperson for Kazimula Children's Home. They're just two of our 7 groups that we fund, but we're very happy, very, very happy that you get to see some of our fundraising efforts for your group. We lovingly and passionately raise funds for the children in your care. You are the boots on the ground. You are the ones that do the hard work. We're sipping tea and enjoying cookies, but hoping we get to raise money for your children. Looking back, Tears Arms was conceived after a trip to visit my motherland in 2001. Hearing and seeing the devastation of AIDS and the thousands and thousands of orphan children left behind, I knew I had to do something. The 50th birthday was around the corner, so I invited everyone I knew. Some of you are here today. I raised $30,000 in pledges at that birthday party, and some of my guests offered to help me start a nonprofit. Victoria Porcello is with us today. Monique McHugh, where are you, Victoria? Can you raise your hand? The little icon at the bottom. I don't know if you can. Anyway, Victoria and Monique calling in from Mexico City, and my darling daughter, Kim Baker, who has been there from the very beginning. I turned 70 this year, and it is beyond my wildest dreams that we are a thriving, active, and involved organization with a strong board, dedicated volunteers, and you, our donors. Thank you for trusting us to deliver your generous caring and compassion for the children so far away in South Africa. Together, we have affected the lives of hundreds and hundreds of children and their caregivers through Tears Arms. Our mission statement reads, Tears Arms is a nonprofit, non-denominational organization that believes in providing a dignified, nurturing, and compassionate environment for children affected by HIV/AIDS in South Africa. Today, you will see snippets of hope and gratitude in our outreach. Please know the enormous impact that you have on the lives of these worthy children. I will be going back to South Africa to visit our groups in September, God willing. You may remember that my trip 2.5 years ago was cut short when South Africa went into lockdown with COVID, where I was caught until repatriated by the US government along with other US citizens. I will carry you with me in spirit on this trip for all you so generously donate to. I'm excited about our tea program today. So sip your tea and munch on your cookies. Okay, who saved their cookies for today? Okay, well done. Which brings me to some thank yous. To our glorious bakers, Joy, Irene, and Gail. All healthcare professionals and still volunteering. And to all our volunteers and board members who made your special tea boxes. Aren't they great? Every year we get better, but that doesn't mean we want to do a Zoom again. Come in person to the next tea. It's a lot of work, including the beaded sugar tongs. And please read the little note that came on the beaded sugar tongs because it tells you the relevance of beading in South Africa. And the cookie recipes will be on our web shortly. So please take a look. And thank you to our sponsors. Anita Lampel. Malachi, would you mind putting up the thank you? Thank you. Anita Lampel, who has just retired as president of the board and still continues to give generously. We're so grateful that you are still involved. We want to thank Stephen Smith Teamaker for their second year of donating their fine teas that they're out of Oregon and you can find their teas in high-end stores. Michelle Price from the Orange County Printing Company who's been printing all of our printed material for many years and saved us thousands of dollars. And Malachi Clark for Techlia Incorporated. He is running our Zoom today, and we are so grateful for you for doing this and helping us be streamlined. Also, Dan Noel of Media Experts, who edited some of our videos you're going to see today, and Sandy Corelli, our graphic designer. Don't you just love the invitations? She is a professional, and I really thank you for your beautiful designs. Our special bakers and mask makers, Irene Landry, Joy Freeman, Gail Black, and to our volunteers who tirelessly bead the sugar tongs. I do want to say that all of these people have donated their services pro bono, and that is an incredibly large amount of money that we are saving. So more money goes to our kids in South Africa. We are an entirely volunteer-based organization. So these pro bono gifts really make a difference.
All grantees provide food for the children. I was so amazed by how so little could provide so much. The soulful eyes of the children took my heart and filled them with joy. I saw for myself that we were making a difference in the lives of these children, and it has been a privilege to be a part of this incredibly generous group of people we call family. Next, you will meet the remaining board members as they share information about each grantee.
HOKISA, Homes for Kids in South Africa, cares for up to 20 children living with or affected by HIV/AIDS in a family-like environment, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. 2 decades ago, HOKISA opened their doors and found an HIV-infected infant wrapped up on their doorstep. This child was the first child taken into HOKISA, and our founder, Joanne Baker, was there within months to help. Many of you have helped HOKISA grow, and we need your support more than ever. This year, our outreach is for school lunches, transportation to school, special educational assistance, items needed for a warm environment, and a study place for those children who need quiet time. Won't you please help? 93 cents of every dollar goes directly to the children, where so little goes so far. $25 buys a pair of shoes. $70 feeds 20 children for 5 months, so please help.
I'd like to welcome you today. My name is Kim Rainey. I am the current secretary of the board, and I've been on the board for approximately 10 years. I would like to introduce you to Kazimula Children's Home. Kazimula started off as one of our first organizations. Joanne actually built a lean-to for the orphan street children located near Howick Falls. It has evolved into a children's home named Kazimula Children's Home. Kazimula houses approximately 21 to 30 children, ranging from ages 6 to 18 years old. Today, we are raising money for the outreach components of Kazimula, which include food, school uniforms, shoes, transportation to and from school, as well as care worker salaries. I had the opportunity to visit this home. It's a wonderful home. The children, for once in their life, feel safe and loved in this environment. They also have an award-winning marimba band, and we are also raising funds to sell our stepping stones for their extensive garden. And I just would like to welcome you and thank you for attending today.
Hi, I'm Joy Freeman, and I've been a board member with Tia's Arms for over 10 years. Today I'm delighted to introduce to you GAPA. What does GAPA mean? Grandmothers Against Poverty and AIDS. These women can sometimes be the sole breadwinner in a family, and they're often taking care of up to 10 to 12 children. This is after they've worked all their life. Now they're taking care of their grandchildren. So we help these grandmothers, or go-go's as they're known in South Africa, with seeds, compost, whatever they might need to grow vegetables in their garden. And these vegetables then go help to feed over 100 children in an afternoon school program. So when you're thinking today of what you'd like to contribute, please think of the go-go's. They really need your help, and we thank you.
Hi, I'm B. Stewart Berger, current Tia's Arms board member and vice president, and I'd like to talk to you today about Howick Hospice. As you know, Tia's Arms raises funds for Howick Hospice. Howick Hospice for many years has done incredible work in the small village of Howick in South Africa. I was born and raised and lived in Howick for over 30 years. And I have had the immense pleasure and privilege of going out into the field with the Howick Hospice workers, and I've seen firsthand the compassionate and incredible care that they execute towards the patients. What Howick Hospice does is that it's involved in not only caring in-home care or providing in-home care for the 22 or so children who are terminally ill, but also provides training, education, and bereavement care as well. Howick Hospice is also involved in providing high caloric food packaging and nutritious food for these terminally ill children. And so I ask and I thank you all for your support of Howick Hospice today and for your support of Tia's Arms. Know that your donation goes to an incredibly worthy cause. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Megan Tambio, and I'm the newest board member of TS Arms, and today I want to talk to you about St. Joseph's Preschool, one of our grantees. St. Joseph's School serves children ages 3 to 6 years old, most of whom are affected by HIV, AIDS, and/or poverty. Many of them are food insecure, and one of the things that we provide through our grants and your support is the Hot Lunch Program. The Hot Lunch Program ensures that each child going to St. Joseph's receives one fresh meal every day and often has food to take back to their households. We also provide transportation from St. Joseph's to their homes, which is integral in the parts many of these children live in South Africa. In addition to providing support for their students, St. Joseph's School also provides support for their families and their community, which also includes a monthly support group for women who are HIV and AIDS positive. Thank you so much for supporting St. Joseph's School and for supporting TS Arms.
Ways for Change offers health services for children who face adversity and trauma, including those that deal with HIV and AIDS for nearly 40 communities that need help in South Africa. TS Arms provides safe transit for girls and female coaches to and from school who attend surf therapy. We also provide healthy meals after their therapy sessions. This year, we provided 7 mobile tablets for female coaches as well, so that they can connect with parents, caregivers, and colleagues.
Hi, I'm Doris Gordon, TS Arms board member. I'm going to talk for a minute about one of our grantees, Never Never Land Full Service School, which serves approximately 140 children, preschool to grade 4. Never Never Land provides the children with a quality education, helps alleviate poverty, provides a safe and secure environment, and nutritionally balanced meals. TS Arms supports Never Never Land's mission through the food program, which includes breakfast and lunch, the learning resources, including textbooks, stationery, and teacher salary, HIV/AIDS support for infected and affected families, and transportation, help keep the schools open on holidays and weekends for children that otherwise would be left alone and unattended. A few years ago, I visited Never Never Land School. I was so impressed with the volunteer grandmothers lovingly nurturing the vegetable gardens, volunteer high school students painting murals for a new classroom, and the children, so smart, enthusiastic for learning, and those beautiful smiles. I cannot mention Never Never Land without mentioning its founder and principal, Zendaya Hosa. She sees the school as her mission and purpose in life. She is a blessing to those children and her entire community.
Organization at South Africa. I'm one of the grannies who's looking after the kids in the aftercare. On behalf of all of us, I want to say thank you for everything you've done for us. For example, now we can feed our kids and the grannies can have a plate of food to eat, and the garden is going to be beautiful because you also donate trees, and we are really appreciate for that. We love you, we love you, we love you as a South African. Thank you so much.
South Africa.
Okay, let's move on to our outreach items. So there is a very wise saying that goes as follows: if you cannot feed 100 people, then feed just one. And I really feel that that saying says so much about who we are as TS Arms. We are a small group of predominantly women that just seem to uphold this incredible organization. And it's because we believe that the small amount that we give truly makes a difference. And so someone has just bid $201 on the Duffy boat ride. Sorry, the chat box keeps coming up. We believe and we know that a little goes a long, long way. And so what I would challenge you all to do today is a child care worker's salary is only $250, and it pays for an entire month's wages for these incredible people who are the boots on the ground. What they do with our donations still boggles my mind whenever I go home and visit. And they do care with such extraordinary devotion. So I jumped online a couple of days ago. It was my beloved daughter's 19th birthday. And so I made a bid for the month of June for a childcare worker's salary. So I'm going to throw the challenge out there for everybody to place a bid for their birthday month. In fact, this is the time, if you want to pop your bid in the chat box, that would be great. But
Can we
please
have the
remember,
video, Malachi?
you're also going to be going online to click the donate button. But please feel
excuse
free.
me 1 second, B.
Yes.
We have a video before people bid.
Okay.
Perfect.
My name is Tombisi Tabete. I'm going to Gwahaza and to do visit to Snowtile for the one of that child that hospice is looking for. I'm going with my professional sister Carol, my mom, and then I'm going with my mom, Joanne, came from America, and to see this child, how it is coping. And I'm so very happy to do a journey with these two mommies.
And Tombisi is a natural actress. You're in the wrong profession.
And Tombisi and I have known each other now for many years through Howick Hospice, right?
Yes, I was in hospice in 2003, and I was a carrier for the terminal ill patients. And I love this patient, and I love my patient deep in my heart, and I love my organization too, because my organization, they make difference to the community, and the people need us, and to give people hope and to reach goals.
There we go.
Vouch for that. She's an excellent, excellent carer. She's looked after me so well and shown me the ropes.
I love that video. And if I can just point out, I've had the immense honor and pleasure of going out with the Howick Hospice nurses. Being a nurse myself, they allowed me to go out into the field with these incredible people. And those case managers and nurses know everybody and know those hills like the back of their hand. I'm also going to point out that a lot of the patients live in very, very difficult conditions. When we went out, there were just shacks up on the top of the Howick Falls. There were shacks down behind next to the freeway. They were clean, they were dignified, but it was very cold in winter, and we were there delivering medications, checking up on lag work, and delivering blankets as well. And so again, this is money really, really well spent. So thank you very, very much. I see we had at least 6 or 7, if not more, months worth of childcare workers' salary. So thank you, everybody, from the bottom of our heart. All right, let's move on to our second item for our outreach, and this is teachers' salary. For only $100, you can provide a teacher's salary for an entire month. And the thing about a teacher's salary that always, I think of Malalia Yousafzai, who speaks about the importance of education. So there we have our incredible Zandile, who is the principal of her school. And when you provide education, you're providing dignity, wisdom, knowledge, and you're allowing people to elevate themselves to a life that is one of dignity. So please consider contributing and donating to a teacher's salary.
We go through a whole 103 children and all the adults that you see here. Each day we go through 10 kg of mealie meal.
Really?
A whole 10 kg of mealie meal per day.
Wow.
So you can imagine the need for food. It's an everyday thing.
Sure.
Everyday thing. As
Sure.
I said, we just go through this the whole one day. It's finished.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got 103 children to feed. And about 11 adults to field. So
And now, what is the mealie meal for lunch?
For lunch, every morning, the children get this porridge, which we applied for donations. It's fortified with vitamins, so it's quite healthy for them in terms of their nutritional needs. If we run out of porridge, they get bread. Yes. So, but each day we just go through 10 kg.
And that's for lunch?
That's for lunch.
The mealie meal. Mealie meal. Is there anything that you put in it?
We would make something like, we could have mealie meal pap, putu, with vegetables.
From the garden?
From the garden, or the pilchards, or baked beans, or sugar beans. It depends what the gogos have planned for the day, or potatoes, or butternuts.
So which is your favorite food for lunch? Which one do you like the best?
Like to eat for lunch?
Do you like putu?
Nope.
I like putu.
What do you like for lunch?
Everything.
Everything.
Oh, the most
times we do our food, see our own food sometimes.
Like today, the gogos have actually boiled eggs for you, and you'll be preparing your own lunch. The grade 3s have that privilege because they're older, so prepare their own lunch.
I
Sort of teaches them as well.
Rice and cabbage.
Cabbage.
You like cabbage? Oh, it's good for you, huh?
Yes. And we've managed to get, it was amazing because black people and pasta, it was unheard of. So we started on buying spaghetti for them.
Oh, okay.
And at first it was, icky. Like it was more like worms. But then they've grown used to it now. So it's like, it's nice to have them exploring a lot of different meals, not just putu.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they get rice sometimes?
Yes. This will last until the end of March.
Oh, really?
All of this.
Well, everybody, I think that video absolutely says it all. What Zandile and the Gogos and what they managed to do with the money that we send them is pretty extraordinary. So for only $75, you can feed 20 children for 5 months. And that's not McDonald's and takeout. That is, they just do, Zandile, you do an incredible amount with the food that you have there. When you attend to somebody's most basic need, and when somebody has a reprieve from hunger, it really, really brings and lifts up people's spirits, right? They no longer feel helpless and miserable. So I have gone ahead and made a food donation, and I really encourage you to do the same. So thank you for everybody. I can see your donations in the chat box. And I believe we have another video, Malachi. Thank you. exit my chat box. So a little bit about the transportation. Thank you so much for those who I can see have already donated. So there are quite big distances between these rural areas where the children are transported to their medical appointments and to school. So it's not only about the transportation, again, it's about providing an education for these children because we are able to transport them there. There are miles and miles and miles between their homes and the schools. The other thing to mention is those are unaccompanied 3- and 4-year-olds that are getting on that bus, which allows them to then go to school and allows them to go to preschool as well. And if we know and understand that inflation has hit us really, really hard here in America, the same can be said for how hard it has hit South Africans. And so the price of gasoline has gone up, the price of transportation has gone up, and your donation really, really means an enormous amount to those children. So thank you, everybody. And now this is everybody's favorite. So Imelda Marcos, you move over because it's all about the shoes. So for only $25, which is my Starbucks habit for the week that I go to school, you can purchase a new pair of shoes for a child. And we all know how our children outgrow shoes. And so this is a great fun thing for everybody to do. A new pair of shoes brings quite simply that burst of dignity and joy. When we walk around, you know, I just think of my running shoes when they start to look really scrappy and dirty and full of mud and torn, but it's just, there's something about putting a new pair of shoes on that just makes you stand that little bit taller. So this is a fun one. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy a couple of pairs of shoes. But thank you so much to everybody if you're considering donating shoes for the children. And we're not going to finish off. I do want to make mention, Joanne, I think mentioned these. These are our customized stepping stones that are placed in the grounds of Kazimula. This has become a very special and symbolic marker of Tears Arms' dedication to the future of children in South Africa. Forever, your name will be commemorated when you purchase a stepping stone. And one day, I hope, and we hope, that you would be able to visit your stone and feel and understand the solid impact that you have made on many children's lives. So for only $400 a piece, your donation is very, very well spent. And my family, we all have a stone, and I cannot wait to go and visit it and stand it when I go home in February next year, if anybody's interested in joining me. So thank you. And finally, just to perk up your caffeine habit, these are great. You know, it holds a nice substantial amount of a beverage. Tea or coffee is the Tears Arms commemorative anniversary mug. So for $25 with shipping included, this mug can be yours, and plus you can advertise a little bit of swag on behalf of Tears Arms. So everybody, thank you. That concludes both our live auction and our outreach items. And I believe I now hand it over to Diane, who's going to be announcing the winner of the hat contest. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Bea. Thank you all. I'm telling you, we have a lot of beautiful hats out there, and we have some fun because, you know, the fun thing is that we have 2 categories, and the winner will get a nice special gift delivered directly to you. One for a store-bought hat that you've modified yourself, and then one for a completely custom-made hat. This was a very difficult decision to go between here in terms of the hat that was purchased but decorated, but we've come to a decision, and the winner of that is Dr. Devera Hurd. Op-Ed, want to get a picture of her hat there?
La-di-da.
Yes. Now,
congratulations.
Congratulations. For the
Thank you.
custom hat, The winner overwhelmingly goes to Nanette Schrader. Nanette, look at that. Hallelujah. You look at, I mean, there we go.
Oh, wow.
Hope, support. I love it. That's special.
For Ukraine.
Ukraine. Oh
Love
my
it.
gosh.
Very
That's
cool.
amazing.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Look like you had a lot of fun doing that as well, too.
May I say something about Nanette? She has won this homemade hat competition 4 times now. So ladies, you have to up your game
Have
for
to
our
step
tea
up our
next
game.
year. Congratulations. So Malachi, you go to.
I believe, Malachi, we have a video now. That's awesome.
From me, they can't take away my dignity, because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself, it is the greatest love of all. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road is rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said, for you got a friend in me. 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 You got your troubles, I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. You stood together, beat it through, 'cause you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Some other folks might be a little smarter, stronger and bigger too. Maybe, but there ain't anyone that will love you the way I do, kid. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. TSRs loves our children.
So, to end with this quote, all the children are the children of all. Remember the children, they belong to all of us. And thank you for having these children count. And thank you for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun. And if you have any questions on your bids, just feel free to contact me or go to our website or whatever. And we are grateful beyond words because you truly do put food in the mouths of these children and loving arms around them as well. So this is the end of our program. Feel free to hang around and chat back and forth. But thank you very, very much for joining us today. And thank you, Malachi, for running the show.